that was life changing, and that I've never followed space at all, and I was surrounded by people who um, were just so smart about space, and I'm used to like knowing the most in my category, and I was just so dumb there, like it was insane. And so I went home and like had to like read books and just catch up on so much that I'd missed, and I haven't been able to let it go since then.
Yeah, it's addictive. My first time out there was a scrub. I didn't even see anything go off,
Yeah.
and yeah, I was hooked. I'm like, I need to be back for
I
this,
was
and sure enough,
spoiled.
I was.
My first attempt, I was spoiled. I got I got Falcon Heavy demo for my first attempt. So
You,
Oh wow. Yeah.
not at the Cape, but my first time ever even thinking about our launch. I was in college in Orlando, and we're
Sure.
just sitting there in class. We're just like, so we're gonna leave class right now. By the way, just like told our instructor straight up, like we're leaving class. He's like, why? He's like, we're gonna go watch from the back lot the rocket go up, and he's like, all right, everyone outside, let's go.
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, he was like, we're gonna. I was like, he totally forgot about it. He's like, yep, okay, we're gonna go watch history, and we all just everyone. I would say all 20 of us like went outside, and we watched it from the back lot of my university because my university actually had a back lot, like a Hollywood studio type back
Sure.
lot. Yeah, so it was kind of cool. But I don't even remember my first scrub. It's been I think I was so chill about it because I only lived 30 minutes away, so I didn't really care.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
For this,
So
a lot of
lucky.
people had flown in from across the country, and so they had to stick to their plans.
Mhm.
I had the Airbnb for 2 nights, and I didn't know what to expect, so I didn't have plans to stay. Luckily, my wife, she works at the hospital, and she was able to like trade shifts with another nurse, and then cover the day that I was going to be gone, and it worked out. And I'm so glad it did because it seriously has changed like every day since then for me. It's been so much fun.
Nice. Did you fly or did you make that drive?
I made the drive because I used to drive. So I've grown up in Alabama and Mississippi, and then I've lived in Delaware Beach and Boca Raton, and so I used to make that drive, which was I guess
South
longer than
Beach.
Kennedy. Yeah, just to see family and friends when I lived in each place, and so it's kind of halfway, not really. It's shorter than the full drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I grew up driving 6 hours every like twice sometimes 3 times a year. Actually, more majority 4 times a year actually. 6 hours, 6.5 to 7 hours to Michigan when I lived in Wisconsin because you have to drive down around the lake. It's not
Yeah,
that bad, but my parents didn't really like flying. They was like, it's cheaper to drive. We're gonna drive everywhere. So I've driven to New York and back from Wisconsin, and I don't even want to know how many times I've counted. Probably more than my fingers and toes I can count driving down to Florida and back from
I would be
Wisconsin.
afraid to fly just knowing the nature of scrubs and
Yeah.
Oh, for launches. Oh yeah, I would never fly.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Unless it was my
yeah.
own plane,
Yeah. Yeah.
which would be
Of
awesome.
course. Yeah. Renting because we all live that life. The 9 to 5, the 9 to 5 Mac private jet, right?
I'm right down the street from our like local airport, kind of regional airport, and they teach you how to fly, and they've got a couple of like small planes, and I'm really tempted to see if they'll lease one, and
There's a
learn how to
regional
fly and everything.
airport right next to it. The Space
Yep.
Coast Regional Airport right next to it.
Exactly. Yes.
Ooh.
Um,
That reminds me.
I'm actually learning how to fly right now. I got my
Really?
ground course training. I got to do well for my job because my day job works as doing aeronautical stuff. So they paid for all of us to learn how to fly.
Yeah. You'll have to
Well,
tell me more when you can about what they do because I'm really curious.
oh yeah, well they paid for us to learn the ground course training, which doesn't mean actually going in the air, but that's
Right.
like the next step. And I'm like,
Sure. They do a thing here where you can like ride along with the pilot, and that counts for like some hours of your training.
yeah.
And then you go on your own. But I want to do it.
If I want to, my dream because I'm one of the weird people who my favorite fighter jet is the F4 Phantom. Which everyone's like, that's the ugliest plane ever. I'm like, no, it's beautiful on the inside. Deep down into the engine parts on the inside.
Didn't Elon name his kid after a fighter jet?
The A12, I think it was.
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah, the
A12.
single seat version of the Black Hawk, pretty much. Archangel, there we go.
That's right.
Yeah, but those are two-seater planes. So I'm like, I just want the fly one so bad. Pull those Series Gs, that'd be so great. But yeah, so when did you started back in 2013 with 9 to 5 Mac?
Yeah.
How did you get started? Like, what was your into the media world?
Yeah, I worked at an Apple store, so I was I'll back up from there. I went to college at University of Southern Mississippi for 1 year, studying journalism, and you had to have a MacBook to study journalism because of one class that required iMovie. So that got me into like the Apple world a little bit.
That's a very
could-
specific thing
That's
you need
interesting.
to do.
yeah, in retrospect, like, and then their computers were like so ancient. It was like Emacs, which is like an education only version of an iMac, and it was like, you know, CRT monitors, and it was wild. It was bad. So I only did 1 year there. Was working and, you know, paying my way through school, and it wasn't going well. So I went to South Florida and stayed with family for a year, and I worked at an Apple store then, because I was interested in an Apple from having the Mac. And from there, I had a parody Twitter account called Apple Buddha. That was like, there was this whole community of people on Twitter that were like complaining about the Apple store, and it was like, you know, like, you know, all the parody accounts for like rockets and stuff. It was like that, but for an Apple store, like all the memes, all the jokes.
While working at an Apple store.
Well, they're all anonymous. That's part of the safety of it. Yeah, and then there's a reporter named Mark Gurman who worked for 9to5Mac, who was really good at exclusives, like reporting about Siri before the iPhone 4S came out and that kind of thing. And he eventually went to go work for Bloomberg. But I was doing the Apple parody account, and I was doing an Apple parody blog where I was like writing like fake Apple news stories, kind of the Onion style. And I called it not 9to5mac.com. And so the publisher was like, we like what you're writing. It's hilarious, but not the name. You should change it. So I changed it to Apollo Report. And it was just like, you know, on a whim. And eventually they hired me for copy editing, and then worked out to leading the podcast efforts and leading 9to5Mac day-to-day coverage. So, and then after CRS 19, I pitched the idea for a space site. Started building Space Explorer on my own in February, and then right before Demo 2, my publisher acquired it, and then now I'm doing it for him. And so that put a whole lot more support behind it.
Nice. Yeah, that's awesome. So how much? Because when you were on the Today in Space podcast,
yes,
that was before your publisher took it over, right?
That's right. Yeah,
you were only doing it on the side. Now, how much of your time is spent doing that compared to 9to5Mac? Yeah,
so then it was kind of awkward to write during work hours, you know, because I work 8 to 4 Central, which is 9 to 5 Eastern time, and I would like save stories throughout the day, and then kind of turn my reading list into like the most interesting things that I saw. I wanted to write about them and put context to what I was reading for people that were like me, both now and in December, where you don't have like decades of experience following this stuff, and like, you know, why would this one story make you want to follow space for the rest of, you know, your life? And but it would be like catch them during the day, and then hopefully at night like write them, you know. That way I didn't look like I was, you know, doing double duty for my job, you know, kind of like time theft or whatever. And so that was fun, and there was some tension there. It was like, I know I had one meeting with my boss where it's like, I know you're doing this thing. I really need to focus on the Mac stuff, because, you know, we want to do better, always do better. And it's like you're kind of distracted. I'm like, okay, I'll wind it down. I couldn't do it. I couldn't wind it down. And eventually he was like, I'll bring it in house, you know. And it's like, okay, that's awesome. So it was a quick process, and now I can make money from it, not just put money into it. So
nice.
That's good. That's nice. Yeah,
that's always the dream.
That's right.
That is always the dream. Yeah, doing that and make money off it. And you talked before the show. You told me you're launching a podcast tomorrow.
Yeah. So Space Explorer, we're gonna have a podcast. It's called Space Time. I do a podcast for 9to5Mac called Happy Hour, and then one called Watch Time, which is
the
about
greatest iOS Apple podcast out there, by the way. Okay, continue.
Y'all are gonna have me beat on all of the Apple talk, because I swear this is probably, Zach, this is definitely gonna make you cringe. I have a MacBook Pro, which I'm browsing pages on right now. I've built a Windows PC, and I use an Android phone.
That's fine. Like I don't care. And I was listening to Pressing for a Flight last week, and Steve Mar and Lee Kegel, they were there at CRS 19, and so we were familiar from that. And I was just mentioning in the chat, like, you know, just hey, I'm here, whatever. And it became Apple talk for a second, and I was there, I was like at home listening to it on, like, watching on YouTube, and I was so uncomfortable, because it's like, no, this is where I go to get away from the Apple stuff. Like, that's work. You know, the space stuff is a release, and now I'm like infecting it. But there are cool opportunities to kind of mix both worlds. Like I got to write about CRS 19 on NFF Mac because I brought my iPhone, of course, and you got really good access to the Falcon 9, to 39B. You got access to like even like the launch day access. You were I guess somewhere that's like overflow for press, or I guess it's for press, but it was for social media that day, and it was better than I've ever seen at another launch like since then. Just going as an attendee.
Was it the infamous Causeway that everybody talks about being able to go to?
Yeah.
Which I still have not been able to do yet.
Yeah, that was like my first launch was the Causeway, and then everything else is compared to that, and it's I have gone out.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say,
go ahead.
You go ahead. You go ahead. I have gone out for I guess the next one I went to after CSR 19 was one of the, I think it was CRS 20, and I went out with Starfleet Tours on the boat. So that was at night. That was so cool. I did not get to see the first time. I didn't get to experience the first race coming back down, and the second time at night I got to like see it in all its glory. That was beautiful.
The night launches are the best.
Yeah, a week later I brought the family out to see I think it was Starlink 6, and on the first day we were at a Saturn V viewing center. It got scrubbed, and my 7-year-old daughter was like so mad.
I know the feeling.
We all know the pissed off feeling.
Yeah, the next day everything Kennedy closed down for COVID, and then we went back for I guess that was like a Saturday or so. Then on Wednesday it actually launched, and we went and saw it from I forget the name of the park, but where the bridge is and everything in Titusville. So
the Max Brewer Bridge?
Yeah, Max Brewer Bridge. Like, we watched our link from there, but it was sunrise, and like sun was rising where the rocket would be, and so it was competing.
I remember that one. Yeah.
I was there. We had that. It was like just after sunrise, which is like it's cool, but also kind of sucks at the same time because it blocks.
Like that angle, you were like, will you even be able to see it?
With the sun? No, it's just the sun's
like
just
blinding you.
Yeah. It works out for some interesting stuff for pictures. I'll tell you that much.
I bet
having the sun at that angle.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, if you whenever all of this stops and you're able to go back on a regular basis and go to all the different viewing areas, if you're able to get the tickets either just for yourself or for you and the family, especially the family, get the LC-39 observation gantry. Because I swear by this all the time. It is better than press. It is way better than the press.
Cool. We've talked to press people and they say, it's better than press.
Yeah.
So
nice.
They agree. But the problem is, if they are accredited, they have to go to the press site. Like there's kind of a loose requirement that they have to go to it, so they can't.
Other than photographers, they don't have to. I know there's plenty of photographers who choose not to go especially for night launches.
I got rain checks for the Saturn V viewing center, so we'll try that eventually. But
that's not bad for 39A. I haven't seen anything lift off from 39. I was supposed to. That was Arabsat that I walked away from.
Okay,
I was burning through vacation days, and really it got to the point where I left on a Thursday. It went up on a Friday, and I'm like, well, hell, I was still taking this day off anyway. Plus, I had the weekend. I should have stuck around. Story of my life. Just bad timing with everything in my life.
That's the cool thing with 9 to 5 is like I got to we're always remote anyway, so I got to say like, I barely mentioned I was going to be gone because I'll just be remote, and they won't know the difference from remote there or the office. Right. And I just didn't want them seeing like, oh, where is he when I start posting pictures. But
and that's cool. That's perfect. Yeah. Me, I was working for AT&T at the time, so it's
right.
It's like, hey, where the heck are you?
Luckily, I have the really great. Like, it's not as good as remote, but I can ask off day of. Like, as long as I submit my PTO by 10 a.m., I can have the day off. And for Arabstat, my HR manager just pulled through so well. Like, I switched my dates around so much that week, and then I finally get there, and it's finally going to happen, and then it scrubs. I think that was probably the first time where I felt the pain of a scrub. I'm like, literally, like, I felt tears coming down because I'm like, I can't do it tomorrow. I don't have PTO hours for tomorrow. I can't do it.
Oh no, yeah.
And I go back and I'm like sulking back in the office day of the launch, like 10 a.m. And I'm like, I go in and I'm like, I'm talking with her and I'm like, if I leave 4 hours early today, what if I just work 4 hours more tomorrow? She's
That's
like,
how it works.
just make sure you're very, make sure people know you're here tomorrow morning. I'm like, okay, I will. And so she let me go 4 hours early. I only worked 4 hours that day. Made it up there 30 minutes before lunch.
Oh, nice.
It also helps that you're really close, like closer than I am.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it's still okay. It's like 3 hours, but if you drive like a Floridian, 2.5 hours.
Bro, you
3 versus 8 or 10 is night and day.
Oh yeah, easily.
You get to go back home no matter what. Like
30 minutes. I mean, I still wish I was 30 minutes away. I missed that. So
sure.
much.
Yeah, I want to move closer for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yep, me too.
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
Me too for sure.
Orlando is such a great place to be. Like it's like I like the Space Coast. Like every time I'm there, it feels like home, kind of ish. I just love the feel of it. But Orlando's way better. You get
Really?
Disney World. You get Disney World with Orlando. So.
And I've heard the closest like indoor rock climbing place, which I've been meaning to get back into, is like in Orlando. Like they don't have anything around
if you want anything.
Titusville, Cocoa, anything like that. So
I mean, you got a shooting range at the Law Enforcement Hall of Fame.
I mean, it's Florida. Isn't there a shooting range on every corner, basically?
There's a shooting range in every house.
Every backyard.
Every backyard is a
and living room.
Yep.
Yes.
Just open the windows out. Bang, bang. It's all good. And Wayward says Orlando has better sushi, which is... I'm not a sushi fan, but I would believe her with that. So...
What?
What? I'm not I don't like raw fish.
No crunchy roll? California roll?
It's not all raw fish.
I'll be honest, I don't really eat sushi, so I don't have... being in
the
tech...
You haven't had the good sushi yet.
I know that I have to learn how to like it, because being in the tech industry, sushi is a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Every developer I've heard who lives out in San Francisco, they're like, oh yeah, we go out for sushi all the time with like the CEO and all that stuff. I'm like, okay, I should probably learn to like sushi.
If I ever eat with my boss, I have to make sure I eat before, because it might be the most obscure thing. Like, it does not.
I'm lucky my CEO just loves barbecue.
There you go.
So there's a barbecue place literally right next door, and like, if you want to go have lunch, he's like, let's go to the barbecue place. And I'm like, yes.
Dude, I found a weird roll when I was living in North Carolina. I guess I'm spoiled by being born and raised on Popeyes, because there was a chicken tempura roll. It's a fried chicken roll, basically. Mm-hmm. I'm like, oh, I'm in heaven.
It's like the McDonald's of sushi. Like, it's so recommendable because you don't have to like sushi to like it.
Exactly. Yeah. There you go, Seth. Find yourself a fried chicken roll and you'll be set.
Dude, I'll have that. I'll just take if Panda Express came out with like orange chicken sushi, where it was just an orange chicken rolled in like the seaweed and like rice or whatever like that, I would eat that.
I don't know how much I don't know how much I would trust that, because that's only slightly better than gas station sushi.
Listen, in Panda I trust. All right, Panda is amazing. I love it. I have gift cards laying around my desk from Panda. So
wow.
Yeah. So I saw a video this last week, and I've never seen this view. I don't know. Maybe you've seen this view, Zach or Daryl.
What's that? Yes, I am Daryl.
I'll be honest. I remember Zach, but I forgot Daryl.
He's usually here.
I'm used to this kind of stuff.
Have you ever seen this video? Have you guys seen this view from the launch? You can see it.
I wish they'd release more of this, like the uncompressed, unbroken video from the drone ship.
I don't remember where this was. This is from a while ago too. It launched from like a while ago.
Yeah.
Was it? I thought it was recent.
It was. Where was it? Maybe it didn't say which launch it was. I don't know which launch it was that. But this is definitely. I mean, we haven't had a day launch that landed on a drone ship in a while, I believe. So.
Yeah.
Like this view though. I wish this was a live view, because that is amazing.
Yeah.
So.
Good luck getting that though.
I mean, Starlink. Come on.
Hide underwater. Oh, yeah.
just do a cable underneath the water to someplace.
Scuba diving and just pop up at the right time.
But
yeah, do like a floating cable that leads a couple miles away to the support ship that's hanging out close by.
You know what?
Sure.
Why don't they just stop faking it and just show it to us? You know, like, we all know, it's a conspiracy that the Earth's flat and they can't land their rockets. They just cut it and then go to the pre-recorded thing. Did
you really just say that on this show? How dare you? The only time that's acceptable is if you're referencing Flora's Lava. And if you haven't watched it yet,
no, I haven't watched it yet.
you need to watch it, then you'll understand what I mean. That's the only time it's okay.
Sorry, I just got HBO Max, so now I can watch my friends again. My only friends. So.
I'm telling you, Floor is Lava. We got to be on it next season.
Why do we have to be on it? Please explain this to me. Why do we have to be on it?
Because it's gonna be funnier like that.
I'm unathletic. Did you see my body type? It's not meant for fast-moving sports anymore.
Oh,
it
man,
was maybe like 6 years ago in high school, but
gotta work out.
6 years, 6 years, 4 years.
Oh
5
man,
years?
If y'all want to see what Seth was like in high school, Facebook.
No.
That's girl.
No.
I will say nothing else on the matter.
Even with tweets, like I want to delete them all because I don't want to ever get in trouble, but at the same time, like some of them are good, maybe. I don't know.
Oh, I've cleared out my Twitter so much since I've started college. Since I've probably 2 months before I started applying for jobs out of college. I'm like, I'm gonna go through my entire Twitter because I wasn't really prevalent on Twitter until ArabSat. So that's when I started being like actually getting into the space Twitter and like media people and like trying to do photography.
Yeah, I think space Twitter, we were talking about earlier about, prospects of like moving, close to Kennedy. It's neat because I've only been in this scene for 6 or 7 months. And like it's the 9 to 5 stuff that like makes you familiar with me. And then the people that I met at NASA Social. It's so cool to be able to like just like discover who are all the people that are super interested in this stuff, and then learning that like it's totally a labor of love, and like there's this day job over here that's totally different than space stuff. Like it's awesome, and I I feel like I could go to any launch and like run into people who I'm familiar with from Twitter without having met them first.
Yeah,
I totally didn't just pour myself a triple. Vodka. I was listening to Zach talk and I looked. I'm like, oh, I'm pouring the vodka, not the lemonade. Crap.
Oh man.
No, that's
me,
totally happened to me.
That was me for Yuri's night and like the week of ArabSat. So I think I
wanted to go this year so bad, and then COVID.
That Joe sucks. I had my my dress up all planned out. I was gonna be I'm not gonna name the name of the actual fuel again because I forgot it already. But
monomethyl hydrazine and dinitrogen tetroxide.
Yeah, that one. There we go.
It's good to have friends.
I'm like, I just tell you, I'm like, I know it's dihydrogen, whatever. But like,
dinitrogen tetroxide.
Man,
I'm still struggling.
Toe, I was like a dark maroon, like how like the exhaust is from the feel of it. I had head to toe that. I had a hello, my name is, and then the little like chemical composition of it. Like it was great. But the week of ArabSat and Yuri's night, because it was the same week, I went in Monday. Let's see. Monday night was our Lucas Future meetup. So I ran into. I mean, I've met Tim Dodd several times. At that point, that was like my third time meeting him. He was whatever. I wanted to hang out with Joe and Joe Scott and Ben Sullins. And,
man.
and which Joe Scott, freaking amazing, dude.
Oh yeah.
Hell of a guy. Just like his YouTube channel. Hell of a guy. Do you know Joe Scott, Zach?
I don't.
Answers with Joe?
I don't know Joe.
Oh my god, you need to watch his YouTube. His you would get lost in his YouTube channel. It might not be great for productivity.
I had a run in with Tim Dodd that was kind of awkward. Before everything closed in the world, I was at a EV show in Texas. I think it was in Austin.
Yeah.
Austin was it? Oh, what was the name of it again? He did that speech.
So I was in the room for the talk, and I got there kind of late, and I was like on the floor, dead center. And I tried to like forget this, but he called me out, but I think he got the name wrong. But I think he was familiar with Sorted from Electrek, which is like the EV site in the 905 network. It was super awkward, but it wasn't my name, so like I just like didn't acknowledge it. But I was. I'm gonna go back and look at that on video to see what happened.
We've I've met. He's a nice guy. He's a cool guy. Joe Scott's great. And then so that was like Monday, and then also the Trevor Melman and Declan Murphy meetup I went to. That's the first time meeting those guys.
That's the first time I met you in person.
Yeah, it's the first time we met in person as well. First time, all the media photographers were there. Mm-hmm. All the media, like Das was there, Brady. Let's see,
kind of intimidating,
Nathan
actually.
Barker. Like, it was hilarious because we sat at this long table, and you can start from left to right. It got from the most professional photographers all the way to the amateur photographers, and you just they were all very dignified. Das walked in with like the photographer's vest on, like, and when he walked in, like most of the people stood up to go greet him. Like it was kind of funny. Like,
Wow.
and he came down, so we're just like, and then it goes all the way down, and we're just like goofing around, like, oh, what's your settings gonna be? I don't know. I'm just winging it. Oh, yeah, me too.
So that's the secret that everybody does. We all just wing it.
We don't know what we're doing when we're out there.
It's one of those things that's just so damn tough to plan that kind of stuff. You gotta just wing it.
Yeah, but
everything within a 5 Mac I've winged from day one, and I've never felt in a way that was like in game over. So
yeah, that's good. No, I'm now at the point where I'm like, I can maybe start planning what I'm doing when I go out there. Like, I think I know enough now to plan.
You know, speaking of all this photography and camera gear and stuff.
Oh yeah,
good.
We got something.
What a
crazy to talk
transition
about.
by Daryl Sausse.
Talk about winging it.
Thank you. I'll be here all night. Make sure to be waitresses.
So, of course, we talk about space mostly on this podcast, but we in our description, if you read a description, so we are legally binding, I think, not really, but to be also photography podcast. We say we're a space and photography podcast. So
okay,
we need a camera for DM2. It was expensive.
What'd you get?
Yeah, what you have?
I had to look at the receipt, but it was a Canon, and then one lens was Canon, and one lens was not. When it got scrubbed, I ordered a second lens on the last minute for even more zoom.
Oh, was that what you were picking up when we were trying to meet up at that
Mhm.
park? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
You were like, I gotta pick something up real quick.
that was pre-motorcycle, so now I could just zoom it, but.
Yeah, that was you were like, oh, traffic. I'm like, yeah, I could have told you the traffic was gonna be bad.
Yeah, I can't wait to go back on my bike now.
Oh yeah. Oh, you're just zooming out. Oh, just like a true Floridian, just zooming out between traffic. Yes. So we let's see. We both shoot Canon, me and Daryl, and we're both Canon fanatics. And Canon released 2 new cameras this week, which I'm pretty excited about. Daryl, you excited?
Yes. Like, how can I make my wallet cry more?
Yeah. Once I'm finally like content with the camera gear I have, I'm like, yay, and a new body for you to buy. That's amazing and expensive. Canon released their like almost pro series style, like the long awaited like real mirrorless bodies that they've been kind of talking about.
And it's worth pointing out before we really jump into this is that the EOS R, which I own and Seth has rented, we both absolutely love. Like, it is my go-to. It has a lot of great stuff on it that really helps me out that none of my other bodies can do. I have a 62, 70, and a 5D2. Like, none of those compare to this. The 62 has some features, but the things that you can do with it, since it's mirrorless, really come in handy in ways that the other ones just don't do. Like my comet photo from yesterday morning, I couldn't have found that on any of the other cameras. I managed to find it because of just how the R works. It's absolutely incredible. So that's my butt kissing of the EOS R. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, and the R, which I believe they announced during their when they announced these 2 cameras, was they needed a mirrorless body that handled these lenses, because the RF lenses, RF glass, is the best mirrorless glass out there. You have the holy trinity of lenses. You have all the specialty lenses that you might need. They now have 600 and 800 prime lenses, which yes, they're at f11.
We'll come back to that in a sec. Because that's a little weird.
They're a little weird, but I can kind of see what they might be for. They're definitely not for us.
No.
But they're definitely for someone.
Yes.
But the R was just we need a body to handle the glass, and we can't wait it's been like what? It would be probably about 3 years by the time R5 and R6 released that the R came out. It's been 2 years now, so the R5 and R6 probably won't come out for another 8 months to a year.
No, they were expecting what you talking about? These two that we're talking about?
Yeah, these two. When are they coming out?
They're expecting to start shipping them end of September and end of August. I forget which one is which.
All right, so like 2.5 years. They
But
needed.
they are back
They
ordered
just
now.
needed a body, and they're like, oh, here's the R. Like it's not a finished product. And it's an amazing camera.
Yes.
Now we have full-fledged bodies that actually meet the glass, and let's run through the specs here with the R5. R5 is 45 megapixel full frame sensor, ISO the 100, the 51,000, expandable to down to 50 and up to 102,000. Which why would you ever go that high? I don't know, but you could.
That's what helped me find the comment.
Yeah, I can see how it can help, but like actually taking pictures with 100,000.
Here's the thing: you don't use it to take pictures. You use it to find stuff and then go back down.
Yeah. The big thing that's new in this camera is in-body stabilization with up to 8 stops. So I heard I don't remember which video it was on Peter McKinnon's video or on Frono's Photos video where they talked that someone actually took when he put IBIS with in-body stabilization and then the lens stabilization image they took a 2-second exposure handheld and it came out great. That's how great the combination between those two stabilization systems are.
At what focal length though?
No idea. I don't know. I don't remember what that is, but it was like landscape photography, so probably pretty wide.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Still not bad.
Yeah. Video settings. Yes, it does it all.
20 frames per second. Oh my god.
Click.
Oh yeah. So yeah, 12 frames per second mechanical, 20 electronic, which is the same I believe as the 1D. Pretty much for the R5 and R6, they're the mirrorless 1D without the integrated battery grip and with the electronic viewfinder, which I think is superior to an actual normal viewfinder.
And actually, did you look down at the connectivity section of that article?
Yeah, so it has Wi-Fi 5 gig and 2.4 gigs, hertz, whatever. Bluetooth, USB Type-C, micro HDMI instead of mini HDMI, which is the norm. It has been normally, but now they're going to micro, which I don't know how I feel about the micro because I like mini, but
big deal. It's another $10 adapter from Best Buy.
Yeah, you have to.
USB is huge for me. Like I love that. That helps me.
You like micro, really?
No, USB-C. So like
Yeah.
Because I'll always have a cable that'll plug into my computer. I wish there was an SD card slot on the Mac. There's not. I hate the adapters. I go through them like crazy.
I still like my what is it, late 2016 or early 2016 version of my
probably 2015.
2015, the last one with the SD card slot.
Yeah.
I still have that one from college, and I love it.
I've got that too.
Nice. Jealous.
But no, what I was looking at was
for work. I have the brand new 16-inch MacBook Pro, which is nice.
That's what I use.
Yeah, really nice. They could definitely fit an SD card slot in there somewhere.
Absolutely, and more ports.
Yes, and more ports.
Here's the thing I was looking at: gigabit Ethernet via the battery grip.
Yeah, that's for people who need it.
I've run into situations where I've needed that.
Really, I've never.
Like fast sharing over a network, or like what are you doing with that?
Yeah, what are you doing with that?
I was live streaming. I pick up work occasionally on the side for a sound and lighting company, and the owner of it, good friend of mine named Earl, he got a hold of me and said, "Hey, do you happen to have a camera that does this, this, and this?" I'm like, "Yeah," and I get there, and they also said, "Well, we're also trying to do this, this, and this, so we're going to set up a phone." I'm like, "Wait a minute, split that HDMI or send it to me and let me send it back out, and we can do it from my camera with much better quality." I'm like, "Oh, okay." And that's, of course, using my R that I have now. So having that gigabit Ethernet, if I could use that instead of trying to do anything wireless or anything, I'm saying I can find a use for it.
Yeah.
So I'm happy with that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I've never had a need for it. I mean, I know people
live stream 4K over a solid connection.
Yes, I need that. Okay.
Exactly.
Run season 2. We're using R5s and everything's coming to you in 8K.
I looked up what camera I ran at. It was a Canon 5D Mark IV.
Oh, that's nice.
The first it felt nice. The first lens was 100 to 400 millimeters, and then I can find my cursor. Let's see. Then I was like, it scrubbed, so I had more time to pick another, and I had sent out a. Let's see. I had it pulled up here. Oh, Sigma 60 to 600 millimeter. That was like the highest I could get for in time. So
60 to 600. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, that was fun to carry around.
Yeah,
I'm tempted to rent one.
Yeah, that is a one interesting one to rent. Though, yeah, because I have the Tamron 150 to 600.
Yeah, we both have that. He is the first generation. I have the second generation. He actually got that from me.
Always gotta point that one out that you have the better version.
It's I haven't really noticed that much of a difference per se. No. I like having the second generation because I can use the 2x extender on it, where on the first generation you couldn't.
Yeah.
But
I learned that the hard way.
I've seen a lot of people say that, hey, you can't. What was I getting at? The Sigma version of the 600 much better than the Tamron version. So I've been wanting to maybe check it out.
I've used the Sigma 150 to 600, and I think I couldn't really tell a difference, but I could be wrong. It's been a while because it was Arab set when I got it. Okay. So it's been like over a year and a half since I've used it.
Yeah, that was for DM2, and I was up there at Maxborough Bridge. Just far enough away from the crowd, and I was happy.
You're
I was
a brave
surprised
soul for that one.
I was far away from people. I was happy with what I got, to the point where like I came home and probably went and put it on the wall just because it's like, you know, it was so neat. And having 60 to 600, I got some really cool like just up close shots of what was around me that day. And then when it came time for like, you know, launch, it's like, okay, here we go. You know, it was heavy to carry around, but it got the job done.
Yes.
Oh yes, I carried that around during my NASA social because like I don't know if I ever because. Back when I did the NASA social, the only lenses I had were the 18 to 55, the 10 to 18, and then the 150 to 600. And so I'm like, well, I might want something more than 55, so I'll bring the 150 to 600, just stick it at the bottom of my backpack out of the case, and just walk around with that all day. I finally got a moment where I'm like, ooh, I might want that 150, like the 200 range, and I went to try to pull it out, and I'm like, I don't want to pull out all the other stuff out of my backpack, so. Sorry, we're not getting the close-up of the turtle. It's going through the yard right now, Crystal. So
dude,
we're just gonna have.
I tell you what, I have free-handed that lens and a body for a Blue Angel show in Biloxi.
Yeah.
When they were there, it was like 2 years ago now. It was the first day. I ended up getting frustrated with the tripod. I'm like, screw this. And I freehanded it the rest of the show. And it's like a 30-minute show. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, I am dead.
Not a light lens at all.
I carried it on my shoulder the whole day with the strap. And then when it came time for launch, I found a rock and was just like propped up on it like a tripod and, you know, for stabilization and everything. Yeah. I'll be back at the Causeway for the Mars River launch. That's the first time I get to go as media. And so I've got to plan out like what camera to have then. So we'll see.
Run an R with the RF extender and a 150 to 600. Yeah. Probably the best thing you can get.
Yes.
So. Send me in text what that is so I can recall it.
Yeah. I'll just send you a link to.
What would you do? Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty much here's what I would use. Just do this. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
See, and there you go. Seth is somebody else I've sold on the ESR. I've sold a number of people on it.
Dude, the mural. I mean, it's just so much nice. We haven't even finished. We're not even done with the R yet.
We're still going to talk about the R6.
And we still have to talk about the R6.
The last things lenses.
The last thing with the R5 is 120 frames per second refresh rate on the viewfinder. I don't remember exactly what the R is. I couldn't find what the R was, but I think it's 60. The refresh rate. What are you looking at? You grabbing the owner's manual? Oh wow!
I just happen to have it close by.
Yeah,
let me see if I can find it.
I don't use that at all, so I don't know where mine is.
Oh, shame.
Owner manuals are for losers.
Not Canon ones.
The Canon ones are actually pretty nice. I have skimmed through it, but they're pretty nice.
If you're a beginner photographer,
the battery grip for the R5 and R6 are interchangeable.
Ooh, that's good.
Oh, and if you're someone who needs flash sync, you can get flash sync on the R5 if you still use that for some reason. Headphone, microphone, Resetting all this stuff. 12 mechanical, 20 electronic. Anything else? Videos. Okay, yeah. Video settings. I just said yes because yes, it has video settings. It has a lot of them. 8K up to 30 frames per second. Which, if you need 8K, you have it. I don't know much people who need 8K, but 8K is nice. 4K from 120 all the way down to 24p. 1080, 60 all the way down to 24. Which I think I saw someone where they said that they might be adding a framework fix for 1080, 120 120p. So I don't do video, so I don't really know what that means. So I mean, I do know what it means, but I don't really care. So
yeah.
All I know is 120 is for slow motion, 24 is for cinematic view. There we go.
And everyone will debate what is best.
Yeah,
even
24,
for a regular
25,
video.
or 60, or 120. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, another thing. Oh yeah, the viewfinder is 100% coverage. I don't know if the R had 100% coverage or not. Like view. I know the DSLRs don't. They're always a little zoomed in. And then what else? Autofocusing points. All of them, everywhere. 100% coverage for autofocusing, which means me and Space Ghost Steve had a nice conversation on Twitter about it. He's like, I don't understand. It's not useful. I'm like, it's very useful. Being able to just drag your thumb across the back and choose what's in focus without having to reframe your shot.
Yes.
Amazing.
I've done that with some Sony cameras. It's fun. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to demonstrate this camera to him one day.
Yes.
He's gonna fall in love with
It's
it.
amazing. It's very hard to mess up a shot with that. Especially when even when you're on manual focus, because you have the manual focus helper to tell you if it's in focus or not, and you're just like, it's like autofocus, but like manually.
I mean, it's like using a smartphone where you just tapped what you want to focus on.
Pretty much, yeah. It's just
You
on the
just move
back
the
of the
finger around.
screen, and it's great. The only thing I hated was that little touch sensitive slide bar that were.
Yeah,
I didn't like that, and that's
once you turn it off. I
could
turned
turn
it
it
off.
Oh, that would have made DM2 so much better.
You can turn it off.
They got on the EOS the R5 and R6. It's just like a normal professional series Canon lens with the aperture ring and the joystick now. So, which I think is much better. That I kept on hitting it with my cheekbone every time I went up, and then it would like bring up a little menu and the viewfinder. And I'm like, no, go away! I'm trying to take a picture. But.
Well, I tell you what sold me on it. You were talking about the manual focus thing, the manual focus helper, the box with the two little arrows that line up.
Yep.
And it turns green when it's in focus. That sold me, because when I'm shooting stuff, in the dark at like a f11, f12, and it can't autofocus, but it can still see enough to do that to help me out, I'm sold.
Oh,
absolutely sold.
It's amazing. R6, the R6 and R5 are very, very similar. The differences are. The sensor is now 20 megapixel sensor. The ISO range natively goes up to 102,000, and then that's expandable up to 204,000.
That's ridiculous.
It also has 8 stops of IBIS for stabilization. The video settings have kind of been cut down. It only goes up to 4K, 60p. This one does 1080 at 120. That apparently the R5 doesn't do 1080 at 120, but I think that was an issue that no one caught. That's supposed to be a thing. Same viewfinder. Oh yeah, the difference is that R5 had two. They both have dual card slots. R5 is a what's the name of it?
Come on, compact flash and SD.
CF Express.
There you go.
There we go. And then one CF Express, one SD card slot. And then the R6 is 2 SD card slots. And then pretty much everything else is the same, except also there's some connectivity differences, which everything you need is there. Oh, wait. Oh, this one uses an E3 remote. Oh, no. Stop sharing with you guys. My bad.
Ah!
My bad.
Oh, no.
I wish I could move this, but I can't. It decides to be on this monitor for some reason. Okay, so N3, so the R5 uses the N3 remote, which is, I think it's that 3-prong one that goes in a certain direction, right?
Oh, this is talking about the remote port.
Remote shutter port, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the E3 is the one that like the 5D has and the R has, right? It's like that.
I got cords for both. I'm good.
Yeah, I know, me too. But I think the E3 is like it's like a miniature, like headphone jack kind of. So.
Yep.
Which
That's
I like.
exactly what it is.
Yeah. I like how you know exactly what that one is, but you didn't know what N3 was.
I know the actual plug.
Like, come on, how do you not know the difference between N3 and E3? This is simple mechanics.
E3 is a game expo. All right, I know that.
Yeah,
used to be.
Used to be, yeah.
That's valid. Used to be. Yeah. Oh my god, I'm so excited. Basically, these are 1DXs that are mirrorless and don't have an integrated battery grip. They don't have the dual CF cards, which completely fine with me.
Yeah.
These are phenomenal. Like, so basically the R6, if you need low light capability photos, R6. If you need great photo quality and great video quality, R5. It's pretty straightforward. And these are relatively cheap. So like the $2,500 and like $3,000 some dollars, which it's not a lot. Relative. That's what I said. There's a lot of quotations.
These are great business expenses.
There's a lot of quotations on relative. But for, I mean, a 1D is what, 6,000? Almost 7,000?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you imagine how obnoxious it's going to be when they make a 1D mirrorless, like a legit 1D mirrorless?
Dude, I can't wait.
That's going to be insane. We're not going to be able to afford.
Oh no, that's well, yeah, no way we're gonna afford.
No, not at all.
But yeah, that's gonna be interesting to see one day. What an actual 1D mirrorless, like 20 mechanical, 30 electronic.
God,
just how just someone's gonna ask them what's the frames per second for the 1D, like the R1. Yes. What do you mean? Yeah, all the frames. You get all the frames when you hold down that button. And what's the limit? The buffer size? No. What do you mean? There is no buffer size. All the frames.
It's obnoxious.
It's just you just take a video and then it breaks it up. You choose what the frame rate is afterwards. It just captures everything.
Now, on the flip side of this, they also put out some new lenses.
Yes.
I noticed that Seth wasn't ready for it, so
no,
I will bring it up real fast.
We don't. Yeah, if you want to bring it up.
So
your internet connection doesn't like poop.
I'm doing it on my MacBook, so sorry.
Okay, no worries.
No, let's see, 4 new RF mount lenses plus 2 new extenders.
Interesting.
The normal run-of-the-mill ones, you got a 85mm f2, 100 to 500 f4 to 7.1, which is your general run-of-the-mill stuff. They're just meant to fit the mirrorless without an adapter. The 2 crazy ones we want to talk about, they have these new weird long focal length lenses, a 600 and an 800. Both of them are limited to f11 because they have this weird thing where I guess they're meant for portability. The hood comes off, flips around, but the lens itself also collapses.
Really?
Yeah, you have 2 settings on this thing. You have it collapsed for travel, or you have it all the way open. You can't do anything in between with it. It's just, it's extended all the way, or it's in your bag. That's it. And like I said, it's stuck at f11.
The picture qualities better be absolutely amazing. Otherwise, I don't know if it's worth it.
I just don't know about that f11.
I think the reason why I think the only way I can think
it's just
of
the way
F11,
the focal math comes out to. Really.
Yeah, the size. Yeah. Well, no. Would they have a f6 800mm? I think. I believe so. I believe they have 800mm that are at f6 or f7. I can't remember what their prime 800 and prime 600s are at, but you can get a small aperture. I think that's just like how it's designed. They can't get a larger aperture with the being portable. Right. This would make sense for maybe sports photographers because it's native RF glass. It's at f11, which gives you a much more depth of field with it. You can get more in focus. Mm-hmm. And you're usually relatively bright. And if you're working with, especially if you're working with the R6, you don't need to be at You don't need to be wide open at f4 or f5 or f6. You can be at f11.
True.
1000 ISO, a little bit slower with IBIS. Does these have image stabilization? If they better have image stabilization. If not,
yes.
Okay.
5 stops of shake reduction.
Oh yeah, easily. You can get plenty with the ISO up and a little bit higher. Well, you would be at f. You'd probably be at like what 1.8. Well, the rule that I've been taught with photography is from a wedding photographer is that you take your focal length and you add 1 to it, and that's your shutter speed. So if you're at 600
it's a little more
millimeter,
complicated than that.
well, okay. If you want to have what's your slowest you can go, with it still being easily. It's not a complete science, but if you're doing quick guesswork, that's what I was taught with.
Okay.
If you're doing quick guesswork, you just want to know quick.
Yeah. If you got a ballpark it, sure.
Yeah, you got a quick ballpark, and then you can reel in. But you usually do your focal length plus 1. So like a 800 would be like, I think you can do just 1/800th. I think I don't remember all the different focal.
They
length
obviously
or
realized their
shutter speeds,
limitations on it. They realized the limitations with what they made, and they've priced it appropriately. Let's see. They will cost you $900 for the 800 millimeter.
Oh.
$700 for the 600.
Oh, never mind. I take back everything I say. These are for the cheap people. I didn't know the price was that low.
I mean,
Less 800 prime right now is like what, $12,000?
I mean,
this is below 1,000. This is just okay. Interesting. This is for.
Think about it this though.
Throws everything out the window.
Think about it like this though. For launches, especially for the distances we're at, we like to take pictures that are more up close and personal, or at least I do. If I'm running 800 millimeters at f11, I slap an extender on it. That really kills the f-stop
Yeah, you're
down
done.
into like the high teens.
Yeah, you're done.
And
That's f22. You're not going to be. I mean, you can get like the laser shot long exposure.
Yeah,
real close up where it just goes straight up.
Look, I'm not spending 900 plus 600 for the lens and the extender to get that. Look, I can shoot 1200 right now and at minimum be at f11.
Harry, what's up, man? Glad you woke up. Welcome to the show. I think
I don't know
now
about
that I know that
first,
they're only like 900 or something like that. I might get it if I ever start doing sports right away.
I'm gonna skip it.
Maybe if I want the 800, like if I really want an 800 millimeter and I'm doing sports, maybe I might get it. But
I don't like that f-stop hit for only 200 millimeters more of range.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
That's me though.
Want to get back to space?
Let's get back to space.
All right, Zach, welcome back to the conversation.
And we're back.
Zach is back to the conversation. I'm glad.
I did some editing on the side, so it's cool.
doing work while we were just talking about photography. I love it. All right.
See what you did, Seth.
I was not planning on that being that long of a conversation about it.
I know.
To be honest, I was thinking quick overview of the specs, give our opinions, done. Okay, that was a real in-depth conversation. So,
yep.
We want to talk about Russia?
Oh.
So
I'm not drinking the right kind of liquor for that.
Well, I'm drinking vodka, so it works.
Oh, okay.
There we go. Beer.
That's fair.
And Red Bull.
I mean, it's
I'm
still
going
July.
through some more Jameson.
It's July, so I'm still drinking my red, white, and berry. So what's the next month again?
August?
August? Yeah.
Wow, you need to put the vodka down, son.
I don't. What is time anymore? Like
it's a 2020 thing.
It's just a social. Time is just a social construct. All right, like
it's falling apart.
Yeah. There was an interesting article by Eric Berger on Ars Technica.
There's also an interesting ad right next to it.
Very interesting ad.
That nose is something.
That is an interesting nose. I don't.
No, that whole face with that nose. Ah!
I think. And it's like looking right at the at the handshake. Like, what are you doing?
It's a reactionary ad. Yes.
It's the perfect ad.
It's yelling. Why are you working with China now?
All right. So the Russia space chief, Dmitry Rogozin.
There you go.
I don't say these names that often, so I say them in my head and I pronounce them completely differently in my head because it makes sense. Is apparently, according to a Russian tabloid newspaper, which, okay, about the actual like source itself, it's kind of like, okay, it's a tabloid, but these are quotes from Rogozin.
Yeah, I don't subscribe to the tabloid in Russia.
Yeah. I don't subscribe to any tabloids.
No.
But apparently Eric Berger does. So
Can you subscribe to tabloids like a grocery store?
I mean, it's Eric Berger. He gets all the news.
He does.
So I'm taking it as like these are official statements from the Russian space. Not Russian Space Agency. Is he in charge of Roscosmos, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, he is.
I'm trying to think like what the actual thing he's in charge of because he doesn't say Roscosmos. He says like the Russia's Space Corporation. Which is just part of how it's like set up in Russia compared to the United States. But
I can't think of the name of the company. But anyway, what did he do this time?
So he thinks the NASA moon program, otherwise known as Artemis, is less than flattering. Which last time we heard the words less than flattering, it was referring to Boeing's crewed missions to the ISS.
You know what? So are you, Mr. Rogozin?
Huh?
Yes, Energia. Thank you, Harry.
Energia. Okay. Is it Energia? It's Energia.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I don't know.
Thank you, Zach.
Never mind. All right. So, he was like, it's all political, which not wrong there. The 2024 date's unreasonable. It's not much of a international cooperation like the ISS was compared to the ISS. What is it now? What is it called now? Gateway, right? Yeah, what Gateway is pretty much is not the same as ISS, and so they're planning on teaming up with China. I don't remember if they said any other company. I think it's just China. To work with China with their moon missions, which
we all know how this is going to go because we all saw Space Force.
Yes. They're gonna come in. Right, they're gonna come in with the little space thing, capture the what was it? A chimp, right? Capture the chimpanzee, fly away. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, the show did end abruptly, so this is a total spoiler.
Yeah.
Oh, spoiler alert! Sorry.
Okay, now we can get
no. Yeah. Good luck.
Sorry. Yeah, I hope you guys all enjoy the show. But yeah, so I don't know. How do you guys feel about like that? They're working with China now. I'm okay with like I think China should be a partner, but that's just my personal opinions. I'm not sure what you guys think.
I don't know. I'm still kind of processing this because this only just came out today.
This come out. The article was written around like 3 p.m. today.
Yeah, so it's late in the day.
Yeah, this was not like this was just news today. I
think the question is could Jim Bridenstine spin this in a positive way? You know, or something like what would his spin be on it? Because it's pretty tough to spin.
Because they're still working
at all at this point. Because we weren't expecting Russia, were we?
What?
We weren't expecting Russia to be a part of this in the first place, were we?
I think the story before was Russia was going to build a segment for Gateway, but apparently I think they're still in negotiations.
Oh, okay.
Which I don't remember everyone here talking. No one's been concerned. I think everyone was more like, yeah, Russia's going to build a segment.
And Russia doesn't recognize the Artemis Accords, and that's kind of a big deal if you want them to be real.
Yeah.
Yes, Harry, you've missed a bunch. We are apparently the ISS will be split in twain. No, but
international. Uninternational.
The uninternational space station now. They're just gonna the Cosmos is gonna go over there and just shut off just close it, one of the hatches, and no one can go through now.
We got Dragon now, so we don't need you.
I was about to think like they could just go down with Dragon, so it's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Good timing.
But yeah, so China is planning on building their Long March 9 super heavy lift, which will get them to the moon by the 2030s. The big thing that it talks about in the article is that Rogozin doesn't think Artemis is pretty much possible by the date, and that NASA and the current administration is open to cooperation with other countries, which or not cooperations other than like with NATO countries, because we have Canada with the Canadarm3, we have ESA and JAXA all working together with this. Though, I mean, ESA is building parts for the Gateway. ESA is building the service module for Orion.
Yep.
Though that's only for the first couple launches, because there is a contract to replace that upper stage, that service module. I don't know if there's not contracts, but I think they're looking into replacing it, because I know there was a request proposal for replacement of the engine.
I'm sorry. Can we scroll down and get that monkey off the screen?
No, I can't. It follows.
Oh, it does.
Here, wait, hold on. There we go. I'll just cover it with us. You can't see it, but I can. But
I totally ruined things.
I'm now.
I totally derailed the show.
This is great for audio if anyone's doing audio.
So everyone listening, there's a big monkey with a big nose. And,
it's orange, like core stage.
Yes, the orange monkey, good.
We're doing memes now.
Gosh, you derailed. I thought I have a lost thought now. Thank you very much.
Yes.
All right, Daryl, continue. What's your thoughts?
So, I don't think Rogozin knows what the hell he's doing. He shoots his mouth off all the time.
He says a lot of things that get the United States riled up.
If I remember right, he's not even allowed in the U.S. right now.
Really?
Well, is anyone allowed anywhere right now?
I mean, yeah, true.
Well,
is that because
saying,
of Russia, or is that because of the United States? Because it turns out that I think countries
No.
This is Americans.
This is from maybe like a year and a half ago, where there was some kind of spat between NASA and Roscosmos, and I think there was maybe even a spying accusation against Dmitry.
Lovely.
Interesting.
So they basically said he can't come in the country anymore. So he's probably pissed off, like, oh, you want to let me in your country, but China, well, I'm gonna go work with them. That kind of bullshit.
I think what this will do is that this is gonna, one, we don't know what's gonna happen with Artemis. All of the stuff is really up in the air until November. And once November comes around, then we'll be able to reevaluate what's going to happen with the space program as a whole, to be honest, actually. So we could come back with a new administration and patch things all over with Russia and all. Then they start building their own super heavy lift rocket. Maybe we get China involved with it, with their Long March. And we're all good, happy friends around the bonfire. Or we come back and it's whatever we consider this. So
this is just like him talking to, again, what we've already acknowledged and is acknowledged in the article, like the second line, a Russian tabloid newspaper.
Yeah,
it's one of those things. I think we're just gonna have to wait to see something a little more concrete.
Yeah, it's kind of like chest thumping, where it's, there's something concrete that has happened. It's saying what won't happen.
Right.
And it isn't like Russia's like, we're going to be there by 2023, and unlike your 2024 goal, that's kind of unreal. So it's
they kind of just like, we're going to do something, then they do it.
Okay.
They're not as very political as and very not ambitious, but like, we need a date here in the United States.
I mean, they're totally political, but it's that there's no party change, and so there's no change in power, so it's a constant. Versus an election-based date.
Yeah, their space program I don't think is as tied to politics as we are. We have.
Well, theirs probably is. Theirs just has a lot more longevity than ours does.
Yeah. Right, because there's no end of term in sight.
We have 3 candidates coming for president? We have Biden, Trump, and then we have what's that third party candidate that you said is running?
Joe Jorgensen.
So we all know Trump's agenda for space. We don't know Biden's. We're working on that. Hopefully, maybe trying. I've emailed him twice.
I've emailed him 1,000 times.
Okay, good. I was going to ask, like, is anyone else emailing him his space policy? But yeah, I'm waiting hopefully on the running mate and then see how that goes. And reaching out to their campaign.
Mhm.
What if it's Bridenstine?
No. What? No.
I do think we can all agree, though, is that, the one person we would like left over from the administration is Bridenstine.
Yeah.
I think everybody
yes.
has put the politics aside when it comes to him and is absolutely just all in love with him.
Yeah, his experience in Congress has proven super valuable, and it was kind of seen as like a slight before, as kind of a lack of experience. But in this Congress-driven budget that defines what NASA can do, it's totally essential.
And I think he's played.
Yeah, and it's also the way he came to be the administrator of stuff.
Yep, and his internet froze. All right.
Censorship.
I saw I saw his face stop moving. I'm like, and wait for it. 3,
Me
2,
too,
and then he froze.
Wonderful. I totally forgot what I said too.
It was great though. We know it was.
Jim Bridenstine. I mean, I think he's put himself in a really good position to where he can go either side. He can go with this, like, he was a Republican congressman, which goes against him if a Democrat becomes president. They might want to just literally just get rid of him just because he was Republican. Which
I think there's precedent for wanting to keep a mixed party cabinet. Like I think Obama had Bob Gates on for defense secretary, who was a carryover from the Bush administration. And Bridenstine would be a very easy look on being bipartisan. We have a Republican congressman leading NASA still. And that was the first question that I sent over to the Biden campaign was like, hey, take a position on this.
Yeah, I've had
people care.
Let me actually pull up the email right now because I actually had really great. The questions that I had were actually I thought were very, very good. If I can find it somewhere, I have no idea. I don't remember even know what email I even sent it over in. I'll be honest with you.
And they had a press call that had a couple of space folks on the call fundraising, for fundraising, and but they didn't get into space policy because it's just so low on the list of things that they care about. I think in the campaign season.
Yeah. So I asked. These are questions that if elected, will what is Mr. Biden's plans for NASA? Will he continue with the current administration's plans, or will he pivot the agency into a new direction? Because I think he went on. I think he was on the record for talking about moving. I mean, he wasn't on the record. Talking about moving NASA into a what's the term? Only worrying about the climate change, pretty much agency, and no longer being a research agency, but only worrying about climate change. If elected, will the funding for Artemis program continue and the plans for the moon landing by 2024 stand? Does Mr. Biden also have the drive to see the first female and next man on the walk among the moon? If elected, will Mr. Biden's continue the push for the commercialization of space with companies like SpaceX, Axiom, Blue Origin, Virgin Galactic announcing big plans for low Earth orbit and space tourism? Will Mr. Biden continue to allow LEO to be commercialized?
You need a presidential space debate.
Yeah. Oh yes, I would host that.
Yeah, but on the Biden campaign, Bill Nelson is involved, who's the former senator from Florida, and I believe former astronaut, and then Charlie Bolden, he's on the campaign, so former astronaut and NASA administrator.
Okay.
And so he has like the right people that would make good decisions for like NASA as a space agency, and like
I wonder.
And I'm pretty sure those people have spoken kind of highly of Bridenstine.
I wonder if Bolden might come back then. I mean, he did a lot to push.
73.
Yeah, is he 73? All right, maybe not. I mean,
I wonder if he'd pick Bill Nelson then. I mean, he's also not young, so I don't know.
I think Jim. I think
Jim's the best pick. Everyone agrees on that.
Yeah. I think Jim could run for president right now, and everyone would vote for him because I think he's okay. Everyone in the space community would vote for him.
Yeah,
I think,
everyone else would be like, "Who is this person?"
Everyone else would be like, "Who is this Bridenstine person?" But like everyone, like he's a good looking. What are you coughing about? Stop coughing. No coughing allowed on the stream.
Okay.
COVID. All right. Yeah. So
says the guy in Florida.
I mean, Mississippi is no better right now.
Louisiana is bad, but not the New Orleans area, so I'm good with that.
When I went down for DM2, I got stopped at the Florida state line, and they asked if you were coming from certain states, and Louisiana was one at the time. When New
How
Orleans
did
was a
you
bad
get through the
hotspot.
border, Daryl, without?
Yeah, did you get stopped?
You had a
Yeah, I got
Louisiana. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got stopped. You got to fill out this bullshit paper of like where you going, how long you stay, and oh, when you get there, you got to quarantine for 14 days. I'm like, yeah, okay,
I'm not gonna be here for
Honor
14
system.
days.
Yeah.
Like that's gonna happen. Here you go. Have a nice day. They were nice and all, and it was quick. It was like less than 5 minutes of my time. So it wasn't that
I
bad.
just said no. I haven't been in the States and kept going, but
Did they stop you on the way out?
No.
Okay, so then there's
Just
no
on the
way
way
to
in.
enforce it. You could.
No.
it was all for show.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Well, that's like a lot. Of
Liability, I guess. I don't
That's
know.
a lot of things in Florida. Yeah. So, anything else you guys want to talk about today?
I have some questions for you guys since we're here.
Go for it.
That's
rare for us.
I like it when this happens. This is the second time it's happened. Ooh.
I mean, I've been doing podcasts for almost 10 years now, so it's like natural.
Oh yeah, we've been doing it for
cool.
what, 5 months?
5-6 months.
You guys are doing great. I listened to the first. I've listened to recent episodes as they air. I listened to episode 1 today, and it's surprisingly solid from the start. Like,
The only thing I did a
Sweet.
daily news space news and history podcast for 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah, because I realized, I can't focus on 2 hours of sleep a day.
Yeah, it's not
when
healthy.
you work for 8 hours and you only have 6 hours to research, write, script, record, edit, post.
Jeez.
Yeah, no, not happening. So I stopped that. I'm like, I'm gonna do a 4-day weekend because I went to my family reunion. This was like last year. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that, and if I come back and I'm still motivated to do it after these 2 weeks, then I'll pick it back up again. I did 4 days of like actually sleeping for 8 hours. I'm like, nope, never mind. Nope,
You like your sleep too much.
Nope. Yeah, but now I'm back to only sleeping for 4 hours a day. So.
All right.
What you got, Zach?
Any progress on Pegasus tracking?
On
Because man, I'm interested.
Yeah.
Well,
Harry's in the chat.
on the ability to track it, or
Sure. Yeah.
So here's the deal with Pegasus. Everybody on Twitter is well, let me ask you this: how familiar are you with the area, especially around? I'm sure you've made the trip down here plenty of times, being so close to New Orleans.
Lived here for a long time. Yeah, I've been back and forth. I went last week to buy a helmet. So.
All right, so you've passed by Mishu before, I'm assuming?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so for those who don't know, and I've run the risk of freezing and dropping out for a second, but I'm going to bring up Google Maps real fast. And
we were just Googling simple things before the show, and he was just freezing continuously. It was great.
Yeah.
It was like he was using dial-up.
It's getting bad. I don't know what the heck's going on. Maybe I just need to get around to buying an actual Mac. I don't know. So
okay, hand on the dump button before just in case.
All right. So
unholy image pops up like last time.
Here
Not like
is,
last time, but one time.
I know. Here is the Mishu assembly facility from the air.
Mm-hmm.
And right over here where I'm circling with my mouse, that's where Pegasus sits. All right. So people are used to, at Port Canaveral, people go and sit right on the other side of the port, public parking, things like that, and being able to just take pictures all day. That's the nature of Port Canaveral. Problem with this, on the other side of it, it's nothing but levees and things like that, and there's no public access to this. Like, all the access to this is gated off. The access is right here. I pass by it all the time, like 3-4 times a week. It's gated, always closed, locked up, can't get to it. The only time I ever see anything is when I'm going over the Green Bridge, which is definitely not green, and I have to look over and see if Pegasus is there or not. Now, for anybody who wasn't following along for the last month or so, Pegasus up and disappeared one day. Like, I don't know why. There was no announcement that Artemis 2 was done.
Barge that Daryl lost.
Stop it. Pegasus up and disappeared. Thanks to the help of our friend Harry Stranger, who's in chat with us right now. We tracked down the fact that it went over to Stennis, which, just a quick little move of Google Maps and go right up the Pearl River, which is on the border of the two states. Here, here's Stennis. Sorry, and it was sitting. Yeah, whatever. So here's the B2 test stand, which
Uh-huh.
is where the first SLS is sitting right now. We found that it was actually right down here, just parked, not doing much. So we don't know if something was moved there, if something was brought back, because Pegasus is now back at Mishu. Oh, where did it
Really?
go? I lost it.
Okay.
It's back. So we don't know what the heck it was doing. It was there for about 2-3 weeks. Um, if they just brought it there and brought it back without doing anything, that's really pointless. But that's
Sure.
government work
Yeah.
for you. So we don't know, and I don't have a way to go sit there and camp out and see, okay, is it moving or something like that. I can't
Yeah.
see what boats come and tow it, because you can't see it from anywhere over here. It's all wooded, or there's this Coast Guard base in a way. You just can't see it.
Is that all? I don't know. I'll have to look at that and see what the drone situation is like. But do you know if it's no fly zone?
I do not know.
Okay, because Stennis is very heavily no fly zone. You've got to go pretty far away to fly,
Right.
which makes sense. And there's Stennis Airport right there too. I'm curious about that. I could throw you a drone if you could fly there though. That would be an easy way to check.
I don't. Like I said, whenever I'm coming over to Bridge 3-4 times a week,
with a
I have a clear
drone,
view.
that's
I have a clear view. The
Yeah.
other problem is, just like with tracking SpaceX's barges,
Right.
Pegasus is an unpowered barge, so
Yeah.
it does not have its own tracking.
So yeah, we've talked about this. I think when we had Julia on, that
Mhm.
you have to know the tug of which is pulling it to be able to track
Yes.
it.
Mhm.
And if
Yes.
you don't know that tug, you can't track it, because then you're just trying to track the countless number of other tracking ships, or
Right.
ships with trackers in that river area.
Right.
So you
What,
have
what
to
has
have-
Pegasus done for all the years that there wasn't core stage delivery?
There actually used to be two barges, two identical barges. They got rid of one, and they just refurbed this one for SLS once they knew it was actually starting. But for all those years, it sat there.
Right.
It-
Yeah. Just like the B2 test down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it
Wow.
sat there doing
Yeah.
nothing.
Huh. Well, I wonder. I can't imagine what they're doing going back and forth. When I was out in February, the engineers working on core stage kind of commented on, transportation and everything, and they assumed that, I think they told us at the time that Pegasus was like still sitting over there, from the delivery point. So I didn't know it ever went back. I thought it was like always kind of there and waiting. That's super interesting. There's a spot, I drove last week on just around kind of the perimeter of Stennis, what's accessible. Kind of on my motorcycle, is like a day drive, and there's a city. Well, I guess it used to be a village or whatever, called Napoleon, and that's one of the towns that went away to create Stennis back in the 60s or 50s.
Mhm.
And there's a road called the Scenic Bypass to Space that you can go on, that's public, and it goes to a Mississippi a birding site to watch birds from. There is a historic cemetery,
I know the one you're
bunch of-
talking about.
bunch of graves from like the 1800s. Yep.
Is it this cemetery right here, Napoleon Cemetery, that's on my screen?
I'm not sure if it's that one. It's super well. It must be that one. It must be that one. There's
Yeah.
another name for it that I've got in my pictures, but there's also a pier and a boat launch there, and that's where I went out and just kind of sat. And it's called Curtis Johnson Boat Launch, and there was a truck there that was parked, nobody in it, but it was like a city official truck, and there was nobody else out there. This was like 1 p.m, and then I saw some people that were in like green military uniforms on jet skis go by, and I waved, and they didn't like turn around or anything, so that was good. But that, I believe, is like where it's part of the path that Pegasus would cross, because it's like the water on the state line, and there's no other option there.
Yeah,
So
it goes right up the Pearl River.
yeah, so if it was ever, in transit, I don't think that's an area that would be off limits. And so if it was like carrying core stage, down to Kennedy, that would be a great spot to hang out.
And I wonder, knowing NASA, I wonder if they have the same tug. Like, they would probably have the same tug pulled every time. I don't think NASA doesn't seem like the people to be someone who's like, oh, it's just whoever the lowest bidder for tugging is. They're going to be like, this is the tug we trust, so this is the company that we trust to tug this thing.
I think it's more of who's available, because you can't have those tugs just sitting there doing nothing, waiting for you to do something, especially when it comes to SLS.
How many services are there in the area, I wonder?
Oh, plenty.
Sure, yeah.
Plenty
I wonder,
of tug services.
if there's like one company that they trust, or a couple companies that they trust. Like, we will wait for you to be available for this crew or this tug, we don't trust anyone else. Which I wouldn't.
There was that one company. Wasn't there that one company they used to use for SRB recovery?
Oh yeah, you would have to see, but that was out on the East Coast. They weren't.
That's true.
Yeah, they weren't.
They might not have had anything over here.
I'm trying to think who took over those boats. I just watched the video on it. Not that long ago.
The cemetery is called Spring Branch, and it's just like a loop that you drive around, or bike around. I guess there's for bicycles too, and but that's all there's out there. Yeah.
Spring Branch Cemetery.
Yeah, I knocked my motorcycle over in the mud.
Oh, nice.
I thought I was gonna be stranded for a little while.
Here's the funny thing.
Stranded in an old cemetery. That sounds like fun.
It is creepy, yeah.
Right down the Pearl River, right down here on Chef Highway, Highway 90.
Mm-hmm.
This is the path it takes. I've thought about going right here to this boat launch for trying to do some astrophotography, looking for darker skies.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's right on Pegasus Path.
Right.
It goes right up the Pearl River, right underneath that I-10 bridge, which is really high.
Now would be away from the no-fly zone, where I could, track it for a little while from the drone.
You would, we would really have to find out who tugs that boat, who tugs Pegasus, and be able to track them. Once we can track it, then it's game over. We can do everything. We can know where everything's at.
Yeah, and it's really tough because you never know when they're doing stuff.
Yeah. Yeah,
right. Like, they say after the fact. They
the one of my biggest pet peeves is where like they make an announcement, but I'm like, this happened like 2 weeks ago. Why didn't you just tweet the images 2 weeks ago?
I'm in touch with their media people now as of today, because I'm working on a story about the name Sinus, and it's kind of been a way in to get in touch with the people that are involved with Core Stage 2. And I shared a story that I wrote today about Core Stage and kind of the steps in the process, and they told me that they keep me up to date on media opportunities, because I think it's underreported, because it's in the middle of nowhere in Mississippi, Louisiana. It's not a Kennedy, so it's just not getting all the attention. But SLS fans know.
That's how I felt about Mishu like all this time. Like it does not get enough love. It has built the biggest, most iconic pieces of NASA's history. Right. Literally the biggest pieces.
It's like step one of where the stuff starts. Like
step one, build rocket. Step one, go to Stennis.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. Mishu, Stennis. There you go.
Build rocket. Go to New Orleans. Bring it to Stennis. Fire that sucker.
If you need a rocket, go to Stennis. They know what they're doing.
So keep me informed if you find out anything, because I'm always like available to just ride out there and stalk the place for the whole day.
Absolutely. Same here.
Yeah. Cool. Next question. KSP.
I don't know how to dock still, so.
Jeez. I have told Seth, all right, so we both slacked off on it. We both have not played it in months.
have not touched KSP in months.
I'm
still excited for KSP too.
Yes.
Mostly because I hope there's good multiplayer. I can aim my rockets at Daryl's when he lifts off, so I can blow his up midway. I want to make intercepting rockets that blow up other people's rockets. That's going to be my goal. I will be the troll of KSP.
Look, if you want to do that now in the first KSP, get an add-on called BD Armory. It's like it militarizes KSP, basically.
Yes.
No, all right. So Seth's docking problem. I have
dock.
told him get MechJeb. Why? Because let MechJeb do it for you, and watch what it does. Watch what it does.
Not a wimp.
Did you dock the Crew Dragon when they had the simulator?
Oh, easily.
Okay.
Easily.
Wasn't that realistic?
Yeah, so obviously not realistic. Well, the thing is, you're like 100 feet apart in the simulator. Sure. Yeah. When you're in KSP, pretty much there. You have to get the orbit and match up your orbits. That's the issue. I can go from if they're just right next to each other, I can dock. That's fine.
Yeah.
Getting to the same.
We can
orbits,
thank KSP for that.
Yeah, getting to the same orbits. I have to. Yeah, or moon landings. I'm really good at moon landings. So they have actually at KSC in the Mars building, like the
Yeah.
they have all the Mars stuff.
Yeah.
They have a moon landing and docking simulator. No, simulator. Little controls. Oh, I'm a pro. Easy. I could be an astronaut easily.
We easily set the high scores there.
Easily. I went up. I like went up to the moon landing thing. Did it first try. I'm like, easy. Was with my parents. My dad couldn't figure it out at all. He got upset. He was really upset. He was like, we had a great day, and then we got to that point, and he was really pissed off. he couldn't land on the moon.
Wow.
My question for KSB is I'm horrible at video games. I could not dock the Crew Dragon.
Oh really?
Yeah.
We're just here bragging about how good we are.
Yeah, exactly. So there's
I know, I feel bad.
I know, I feel terrible.
Yeah.
No, it's okay.
I thought that was the question, just KSP.
Yeah.
No, I'm getting there. But that was
Okay.
good. That's good context. I've never had like a really great patience for like video games and like focus for it. I cannot focus. But I'm sold on KSP, and people have asked me if I've played. I'm like at the state of NASA, it was a big deal. Everyone was so excited about like KSP bragging rights and stuff. And so if I've never played before, I'm sold on it as people. Everyone tells me they've learned, like how this stuff works because of time invested in KSP. So I'm sold on it as like a tool for learning what I don't know. Should I wait for 2? And after last week's episode, it sounds like probably not wait, because that's a big iffy. And then next, what platform is the way to go? Because I've
PC.
PC.
I don't have a PC.
Well,
You
not
can get it on
not console.
Yeah, you can.
Okay, not console.
They have it on console, but
it's not the way to go.
if you really want to
No.
get into it and get into like so like KSP, yeah. So the episode, because I posted episode 20 last week, the one 25. Yeah, I forgot to add it in there. People listening, by the way, I apologize for being a little lackluster on uploading the audio versions. So you'll be getting two episodes a week, one on Tuesday morning and one on Thursday morning. The Thursday morning would be all the ones I missed to upload. So I figured I'd do it that way than just giving you like 5 episodes all in one day. So,
Nice.
Yeah, we talked about the new KSP developers, but
Yeah, that was insightful.
Yeah.
But PC. So
yeah, because you can get mods in there, and then you can get what's the Kerbal Engineer? I think that's the one mod that I always
Kerbal
use.
Engineer gives you a lot more stats.
It helps you kind of like know. It looks, you can like see everything going in, like your like all your delta V and your velocities and your altitudes, all that type of stuff. So you can,
So
it's
we
a lot
have-
easier to understand what's happening.
yeah, we have a PS4 Pro, but I don't play as my wife's basically.
Did they have KSP on Mac?
Yeah,
Yeah,
they do.
So you might be
Is
able
it
to get it on
good?
Mac.
Is it okay? So it's better to do that than
I would
I
say
guess this
it's
is the
probably
question.
better to do it on Mac than console. So.
Would it be better to do it on Mac than like running Windows on Mac?
I'd say just run it on
You could boot camp,
the
yeah.
Mac OS.
You could probably boot camp it and get it, because then you could have I don't know how the mods. I don't know if the mods should work then on boot camp.
They should work.
Windows.
Nice, cool.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it on like a MacBook or anything. I would do it on a desktop Mac.
Okay,
Yeah,
well I've got an
if
eGPU, so that might help.
Okay.
It's the one that comes with the iMac Pro.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's probably,
Yeah,
it's definitely better than any of especially if it's external, it's way better than any of the graphics that's inboard.
If you got an iMac Pro, you should definitely be fine for sure.
Yeah.
Well, it's the iMac Pro GPU at least, so
Yeah, you'd be fine.
Yeah.
Should be,
Okay.
yeah.
Cool. Nice.
It
All right,
wouldn't
well, that
be
answers that for me.
it wouldn't be like shattering greatness, but it would be enough. With mods.
You won't be disappointed.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the way to go. I would be. Part of the thing with the console is like just sitting there in one fixed location is tough.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice, cool. I think that's what are the next launches that you guys plan to go to? Because I know it's weird right now. Like Rocket Lab was
maybe
they're on pause
Perseverance,
probably.
But yeah, we've talked about going to the Rocket Lab launch. I probably won't be going to the Rocket Lab launch. I'm trying to save up money, so that won't happen. But
I absolutely loved going to Virginia when it was cold back in February.
Yeah.
And where I was at, if I go while it's hot, I'm going to be miserable. There's going to be bugs everywhere.
Sure.
I'm like, I really hope it pushes back to like September, October, something like that. Then I'll make the drive again.
Right.
which who knows, it very well could.
I mean, I'm
Yes,
already down
that's
here in
right, yeah.
Florida. I'm used to the bugs. I might as well go year round. It doesn't matter. What's the difference?
I'm
The
born and raised in this, and I hate them.
At least the
Yeah.
mosquitoes up there won't have West Nile. So.
Yeah.
It's the
I don't
next
know.
problem
What do you
have
think
down
about? Yeah. What are you thinking about going to next, Seth?
here. Maybe Perseverance, maybe not. I don't know.
I'll be there in the causeway, so if you want to lift, let me know.
You just got.
I'm
You do 2.5 hours on your way just for me? Oh, it's so nice.
I'm kind of over Perseverance because it's not going to go on my birthday anymore.
Yeah.
Plus, I
Oh.
know they're not going to offer any premium viewing areas at KSC. I would even
Sure,
take the
yeah.
Saturn V Center for it.
Yeah.
Ideally, I would want the gantry for it. They're not offering it right
So
now.
no bus
They
tour pass.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no special viewing.
No.
There was
I-
another private viewing thing on where I was working on getting. I don't know if it's still going on though with all the pushbacks now.
Yeah, I'm over Perseverance. Apparently,
I'd love
Salcom.
it. I have. The thing is, I think I might. One reason I might not go is I just don't want to jinx it. Because I have so terrible luck with that with Atlas.
You and me
launches.
both.
Like, yeah, like.
I am actually thinking Salcom 1B is back on the board, apparently.
Is it?
So
I'll have to reach out to Steven what's the actual date is on that.
actually, it just earlier today, I was tweeting back and forth with Matt Cutshaw and talking about where I would be. I was out at Jetty Pier for the last CRS as kind of like a practice for Salcom
Mm-hmm.
because photographing a booster landing is at the top of my list. So,
Dude,
and you know they don't have them.
528 is way better. Like you might not get it in air, but you can. You got.
I want it in the air. That's
You
the
gotta
thing.
get it in air just fine. You also get it at the landing pad too.
Well,
With 528, especially.
here's the thing. I've learned that
It's
when
a
it comes
matter
to
of like 2
photographing,
miles, which doesn't really make that much.
no,
sense.
Shave off as much distance as possible. If I can't get to the end of Jetty Pier, I will be on that beach right behind it. That's. I'm still on the
Very
fence about whether or
dedicated
not I
fans,
want to
yeah.
go, but right now it looks like Salcom 1B might be the next one I try to go to.
I kind of just want to go for like 3 months and just see what happens over the next 3 month period.
Yeah.
I don't.
That
I
would
don't
be
blame you.
interesting. Convince your
I
wife
just-
to do that. That'd be great.
I just
Yeah.
don't know
Let me
when
know
the
how
next
that goes.
landing's going to be. You know.
Yeah, right.
But if I have a chance to cross off one of the ones on my list now, I'll do it because my top 3 is a booster landing, a good Atlas 5 picture, and a D4
Mhm.
heavy.
Yeah, I saw
of course.
Starliner on the pad when I was there for CRS 19. Before it, back then it'll be fine. You know?
I like Wayward's logic right there. It's just much easier just to move here.
And
I would 100% agree. Just move here. Just move here.
I have family obligations here that I need to keep up with. So unless I have like
we've
a
already
dedicated
mentioned-
job there,
We already have plans. When we're both able to move there, we're moving in together, working at the pizza place with Steve and Becca, and we're gonna make our own pizza company. It's just gonna be an incubator for photographers. It's gonna be great.
I'll go in on anything like Airbnb, a house, whatever. Like,
Oh,
Sweet.
we've had the idea of like one time just getting all the like amateur people, like not the mainstream people, like
Yeah,
all the amateur people together, and just get a big Airbnb together, and then do like a live show after, like an after party of the launch with all of us. Just
yeah,
Yes,
drunk.
that'd be
off our-
great.
I mean, not responsibly drinking. Responsibly drinking.
that's
So.
yeah, maybe Salcom. I don't know. I gotta wait. The next thing I got on my list is I'm still trying to chase down this comet some more.
sure, yeah.
And one person so far, Dustin Smith, has caught on to a post I made yesterday on my birthday, Saturday.
Which I did not
9:02
know was your
PM.
birthday. I feel really bad now.
You should. There's going to be
You
an
never told
ISS
me when
pass.
Your birthday was.
The ISS is going to pass just below the comet. So I'm going to try and frame that up
Nice.
with the skyline of the city. That's weather permitting.
Nice.
So that's my goal.
That's
Nice,
awesome.
nice.
After that, I'm
If it works out, it's awesome.
yeah. If not, I at least want to come away with a good comet picture because the one I got,
yeah.
dude, the one I got. All right, so clouds on the horizon has been a problem, sunrise and sunset so far, and I just need them to clear out and I can get something good. And this is harder than photographing a rocket launch. It really is.
At least there's more than one shot.
Astrophotography
Yeah.
is hard.
Yes, it is.
It's so. I still have my Star Streak photos. I need to go through and stack them up from DM2.
Astrophotography is one of those things where it's a pain in the butt. It's a completely different style of photography, but once you pull it off,
It's
holy
satisfying.
crap! You
Very
get some
satisfying.
amazing stuff. You get some amazing stuff.
And
So-
I do this. Yeah, same thing with sunrises and sunsets. When you go out there and you just
Mhm.
you try to work if you really try and you try to find those unique shots, it's very satisfying to come away from like, yes, I got some like interesting shot. I got some good pictures.
I think Harry's talking to us from the future. He said, "Happy late birthday." No, it's this Saturday coming, Harry. But thank you, I do appreciate it.
Oh, is this coming Saturday?
Yeah, it's this
I
coming.
thought it was his
Saturday,
last
the 18th.
Saturday. Okay, now I
You haven't missed it yet.
Okay,
Yeah.
I thought I
Was
missed
that
it, and that's why I said I
the
felt bad.
first. That was like the first river launch date.
Yeah, that's why I was saying I was hoping
Yeah.
to get it this coming Saturday for my birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
All right. Anything else?
I'm
Anything
good.
else on the? Oh, memes.
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 Not ready. Not ready.
I'm
Need
ready.
to find one.
Oh, okay, I'll go. This happens every time. Come on now, man. So, this is the old one, but I think it still just makes me laugh every time. When you, okay. Remind me again what mission this was. It was a CRS.
Which one?
When they had to tow back the booster from just off the coast.
16.
16. Yes. When mom says you have to leave the play date. You just drag. There's like those memes that came out of that were just my favorite at all. Zach, you should go back. You should try to find some of like the gifs that they made. Like they made gifs of like with the face and the arms, and they're like wiggling like their arms. Do you know the CF-16 failure? Do you?
Yeah, a friend of mine, Stephen Hackett, was there for NASA Social.
Okay. Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
that would have been interesting to be there for the NASA Social.
He came down from Tennessee to see that. And...
I mean, seeing a non-crude failure, like a safe failure, where it's not the loss of the mission, is always interesting to see. Like IFA is still one of my favorite launches, just because we got to see a rocket blow up, and there's nothing as cool as seeing a rocket blow up.
And most of the press didn't.
Yeah.
So I kind of like to throw that out there whenever we have a chance.
And I love people talking about how loud the second stage boom was, and I'm like, yeah. How do you think it was for us on a boat like 2 miles away from it?
I know, right?
That was, oh my gosh. Yeah, that's my meme. I think it's just.
All right.
I just loved it. Okay. let me
Zach,
stop.
you got anything, or you not ready yet?
Yeah, I got a couple things here.
Go for it.
Awesome.
Yeah. I don't know if do I share screen or
Yeah,
does that
share
help out?
screen. Yeah, share
Go ahead
screen.
and share it.
Don't worry, I got the
Okay.
dump button right here in case you don't
Okay.
out there. Not
Let's
PG.
see what we
It's
got
not me
here.
sharing it.
Though I trust Zach more than Daryl. So.
There's so many options here. None of the previews make any sense. So that's 2. That's 1. Okay, 1 share. So, oh man, I got grant access. I'll be with you in a few minutes. Let's
Wait,
All
did
right.
you share?
not yet. I've got to give the stupid Mac permission.
Oh, Mac with their security.
Yeah, everything is.
Look at them being so secure with their permissions that applications can use.
Oh, it wants you to quit and reopen to do it.
You want to send it to me? Yeah, is it on Twitter or is it?
Yeah. I'll send you.
Yeah, just DM me on Twitter.
While y'all
Yeah.
are doing that, I'll go ahead and do mine because I finally figured it out.
Nice.
So
All right,
The other
dump
day-
bucket ready.
no, you don't need it. The other day for SpaceX's launch, which was going to happen right in the middle of the day, I said, with launches that happen this time of day, sit down, get yourself something good to eat. So I'm going to start saying a new phrase, happy lunch day. Out of nowhere, ULA launch retweeted me. So it's
Oh, that's hilarious.
I'm kind of famous now. So
I
it's kind
mean,
of a thing.
It's funny that they retweeted you, not what you said, but
And they
you're
also
you're
they
saying
also said
something
they said they fully support me with happy lunch day. So it's official. It's a thing.
I like saying it's scrubbed every time. This past week has been perfect. Where I always see a tweet where someone says it's launch day, my dudes.
Yep,
And then all
I
of a
see
sudden-
that too.
And then it scrubs. They're like, it's scrub day, my dudes.
It's so many scrubs lately.
Yeah.
All right, did you send me the? Did you send, oh, there he is.
Yes,
Which,
in a
which
couple
one
of
do
things.
you want?
Go the first one, the second one first. The first and second. I
Oh
don't
wait,
know.
the second one.
Reddit first. Reddit first.
Okay.
Yeah, this is just the first thing I saw, and it was just totally random, but just really embrace how weird everyone is. You know.
What?
Don't really have anything to say about it, but just study that.
I don't
for a
even
minute.
know how to describe this for the people listening either.
It's like there must be some kind of a name for this kind of a chart, but
it's a
Punnett
cross.
Square.
I'm trying to think.
It says it right there in the thing.
oh sure, yeah, Punnett Square.
The cursed Punnett Square.
So
yeah, okay, go on.
yeah, well,
What the shit?
yeah, you've got the body of Elon Musk, Tory Bruno, or Jeff Hu, which this comes from. I'm sure it's from the SpaceX master race. So then there's Jeff
Yes,
Hu.
it is. Of course it is.
God bless
Bezos.
Reddit.
And then you got the face of Elon Musk, Tory Bruno, and Jeff Hu. And so Elon Musk and Elon Musk, that's the real thing. Tory Bruno, Jeff Hu. But then there's also like a mixture of Tory Bruno with Elon Musk, and all of them are just so weird. They kind of work somehow in like some weird like cross universe way, but it's just bizarre.
The Jeff and Elon one just kills it.
Like, they all look like kind of familiar because they're part of the real person. Like,
the smile of Tory, the weird smirk of Elon, and then like Jeff's just weird eye.
Like the Elon and Tory one is just like, I mean, hair loss, I guess. But,
yeah. I think we broke Wayward in chat also. Went to caps middle of the sentence. Oh, but I can't wait to see what you got for a second one.
Well, the second one isn't that crazy. The second one is in case this one bombed.
This one did not bomb.
No.
Okay, hold on, let me copy the email.
Yeah, but with the green run test out at Sinus, the eight test steps. David Willis, who is, I think he's the Primal Dino on Twitter, but he is like
this guy.
He wants to be like the SLS guy, and he believes like he has an undying love for SLS, which you know is in contrast. Contrast with the rest of anyone who follows SLS, and yeah, this just kind of became a thing today, and it quickly died because it was too spammy. But I posted just like one story on Green Run, and I had like a ton of those.
He actually drew the ire of Chris Gebhardt on Twitter a little while ago.
I saw that.
Nice.
He's like, don't you dare spam me with that Green Run booster. I don't want to have to turn off commenting for
like
this.
Everyone hates SLS.
Green Run booster good.
I have I do have an affinity for it because one, I got into this stuff super late, and so all I know is like from December on. Well, I know about the rest, but I haven't had like emotions attached to it. You know, like this is stupid. So for me, it's like okay, December to maybe this year, or the end of next year for launch. But he's got like this, and I met him at DM2. He's a really smart kid. Really nice guy, but that was it was short lived, but it existed.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Dude. Yeah, I definitely I hope I get to be out there for the for the hot fire test because it's gonna be awesome to see and hear.
That picture.
The Jeff and Elon in the top left with the it's just
like you kind of have to figure out which ones are not the actual one. I mean. Like
that's why I was very confused. I looked at one. And I'm like I looked at like this middle right one of Tory with Jeff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not Tory.
But I mean, the top middle one kind of works because they're both bald and suits and stuff and.
Oh my gosh! All right, we'll be right back with Daryl, but oh my god, yeah, no, the bottom right one just kills me because that one's just like the cursed of the cursed images of just full on Elon and full on Jeff.
Look at the name of the user too, the OP. This Captain Kirk.
Huh? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Captain Kirk. That's my name.
Yeah. So we find your Reddit. You find you on Reddit, and yeah.
Yeah, find me on Reddit. I post there all the time. I actually have like 2 Reddits because I couldn't figure out how to change my name on one, so I just made a new one.
Yeah, I have two as well.
And I have it's a long thing with my like from this. I was originally in high school, and like before that I was like my name was Maize and Blue, because I'm a Michigan fan, so Maize and Blue. Yeah, that was so clever.
I had one that's like the real one, and then but I didn't want it to be associated with who I am, and then one where like I did need to be associated with who I am.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, I did in college though. For some reason, I changed it. I mean, like I want to be, because I watched what was it? It was what's that comedian from South Florida who did the Machine?
Oh, I don't know.
I
can't help your brain right now.
Oh, that sucks. He's hilarious too. Like, but there's a oh my gosh, just whatever. There's a, but he talks about him going to like Russia. Oh, okay. Daryl left. Alrighty.
Left forever.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
I'll bring this over to the side, and when I can see him when he pops back into the waiting room, I'll bring him back in.
Nice.
He was talking about like going to like Russia. Apparently in Russia, gangsters are called banditti.
Okay.
It's like, and so I put in, when I created a new account, I put in banditti, and it said like, oh, that's like taken. And so here's a suggestion, and it came up with the screeching banditti.
Oh, nice.
And I'm like,
it's a pretty good suggestion.
I like that one. I'm gonna do the screeching. It had like a bunch of numbers at the end. Just like took off the numbers, and it was fine. I'm like, I like that one. And so that was what
Bert Kreischer.
Bert Kreischer.
There we go.
Yes.
Google. Yeah.
Yes, I couldn't Google at that point, but I don't know when Daryl's coming back.
Fell asleep, passed out.
Get ready to end it. I'm coming back. He's just messaging me right now.
The meme consumed him.
The meme has killed him. He is gone. But yeah, he's that's what I did. But also like no one got it. No one. Everyone said it was stupid. So I went back to Captain Kirk, and then I'm like, well, like I can't do Captain Kirk for like like if I want to be like on Twitter, like I should be like consistent. So I just Seth Kirk on everything, and
what do we have?
I'm just like, yeah. So yeah, I'm back down to Seth Kirk on like almost everything.
Yeah.
But, you're Apollo Zac. He used to be. What did he used to be? Cosmo Zac, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. It was.
Yeah, I remember my research.
Yeah. I changed it. Like I've always liked space stuff, like adjacently, but not like modern day current stuff. And so the handle worked out for this, like kind of switch over to space coverage from tech coverage. But I liked the term cosmonaut 15 years ago. It just seemed like it's kind of neat. And so then Cosmo Zac came from that, and then I changed an Instagram handle, and I couldn't change it back, so I made a new one. And Apollo Zac was like the closest thing, but it has worked itself out.
Yeah. So many different names, but Kate. Yeah. So let's talk. You're doing a podcast tomorrow. Daryl's back, so we can start wrapping up here. Cool. You're doing new podcast coming out tomorrow, or are you recording it tomorrow?
I'm gonna record it tomorrow. I'm gonna release it on Thursday.
All right.
Yep.
All right. So anything else you want? So Space Explorer, find you at Space Explorer 9 to 5 Mac. The podcast Space Time, is it called, right?
Space Time, yeah. Space Time.
I'm assuming... Do you have a link for that?
So it's gonna be live. I'm gonna try to put out a trailer for it this week, or probably tomorrow. And then I'm recording it tomorrow. The first guest is Will Pomerantz from Virgin Orbit, and we're going to talk about the name of Cinespace India, because he's been on this huge kick to have it renamed, and it got national attention from the New York Times, and then from that, several office holders in Mississippi responded by saying that they have no interest in renaming it and they'll oppose it. I've been doing some local reporting to see kind of what support is there in the state and how it could be done. And so I'm going to publish that on Thursday and publish the podcast with it, kind of complement that. And then from there, I hope to do more interviews like that, but then also try and do like, the weekend, what I've covered, and have some guests on and that kind of thing.
Nice.
So,
nice.
It's time. Yep.
Do a space happy hour.
Yeah, basically, it really is. Our designer for 9 to 5 Mac is named Michael Stieber. He's from Wisconsin, lives there currently, and he does the artwork for all of his stuff. So once he makes the artwork for something, then I'm committed to doing it. So
every time there's like once you get something like the logo for it, I'm like, oh man, I gotta do it.
Yeah, exactly.
There's no going back now. The artwork's been done.
He did all the Space Explorer design stuff.
Nice.
He's awesome. So
he's a cool guy. All right.
Nice.
And you can follow, of course, Zach, Apollo Zach on Twitter. Is that Apollo Zach also on Instagram as well, right?
Yep.
The link to his Twitter is down in the bio. Link to our socials are in the bio as well. I'm at Seth Kirk. Down below there is Sausse Images.
Hello.
Anything you're working on this week, Daryl?
I am gonna be out. I'm all of a sudden back on Team No Sleep, trying to get this comet in the AM and the PM, weather permitting. And then I'm trying my shot on Saturday with the ISS in it. Thankfully, I think I might get 1 or 2 chances at that. So I don't know, but Saturday's going to be the best one. And then after that, got to decide if I'm going to Salcom.
Nice. Yeah, and I'll hopefully I'll be back to getting hopefully I'll be back to getting back to sunrise photography this week once my COVID test comes back negative.
You can do it. You can do it.
I will will it into existence.
Or you want to will it out of existence in this case.
Yeah, and I'm working on a video for Space Ghost Launch Ambassadors. We're working on new content ideas over there, so hopefully some of that stuff will start coming to fruition very, very soon. I think we're working on, John Van Horn's working on, I think, a tour video for one of the parks up there. Working on maybe reaching out to some other of the museums over there in the area to do virtual tours, and then some educational videos. So super excited about that. So everyone coming out to the live stream, thank you so much for coming out. Zach, thank you for joining us.
Yes.
And I'll say one more thing. If you guys or anyone listening wants to be involved in Space Explored, it's my thing, and I'm running it, and it's like my day job with 9 to 5 Mac as well. And there's opportunity there for contributors, so I'd love to have anyone participate if they'd like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Awesome.
Doors wide open.
Doors wide open. Yeah, it was a dangerous word you just used. Wide open. So
It might shut.
Yeah, there's a password, but and once you get the password, it's wide open. Yeah. So everyone listening, by the way, thank you so much. Make sure you guys leave a like, a comment, rating. All helps us out very much. Maybe a refresh and a watch. Maybe 5 or 6 refreshes. Maybe just make a bot that refreshes us 100 times a second. I'm just throwing out their ideas. If you do, I just
leave it on replay overnight.
I'm just
every night
for the next week. Just
send it to your grandma and all your cousins, and
let's do Trojan software things to throw in.
Let it play in the break room.
Run continuously on all your relatives. Just whatever. I'm just throwing out ideas. You don't have to. Just whatever happens. So yeah,
you have to play in your doctor's office waiting room.
All right. Thank you everyone for coming out. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. We'll see you guys all next week.
Bye, y'all. Glad you got to see me.